Spring has sprung, the sun is shining, the birds are singing in the trees, and it's time to think about the outside furniture, and mine is in such a sorry state. The last time I gave it a coat of anything was 2 years ago, excluding this one, and it looks ancient, it looks terrible. It's the last thing you feel like sitting in because it's so stained and weather beaten. So this time I decided to contact the people that make the finish. So I've got a contact at Barrettine, and I dropped him an email and said, garden furniture, blah, 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 pain in the neck, what do you recommend? And he came back with this UV Protection Oil from Barrettine. So this is what I'm going to use this time. But he was extremely specific about removing all traces of previous finish and sanding every surface back to bare wood. That's going to take me quite a while, and that's the bit that I really want to avoid having to do every year. So fingers crossed, this is going to be the solution that I'm looking for. So I'm going to utilize every tool that I've got to get this job done as quick as possible. It's not a pleasant job. I'm going to try and go with 180 grit so I don't scour the surface too much, but if that doesn't work, I'll drop back to 120 grit. I'm going to have to finish with 180 to get a nice smooth, pleasant to the touch finish. And I'm going to be using a multitude of sanders as well as hand sanding, I expect. So once I've had my coffee, I'll get stuck in. And I bet you were expecting to start in on hours of mind-numbingly boring sanding. Well, that is in the video, but I've popped that at the end because I thought you'd probably want to see what the finished article looks like, bearing in mind that this video is really about the finish and not about the sanding. The manufacturer's recommendations were to remove all pre-existing finish and then apply the finish using a roller. Now, I've never put finish on with a roller before, or this sort of finish with a roller, and I've got to say it's superb to coat all of the chairs, all 8 chairs with the roller, 20 minutes. So each coat, including the table, if you said half an hour, and everything has currently had 5 coats, and I think it's looking pretty damn awesome. I'm really chuffed with it, with the way it's come out as it stands now. And it's currently been done for about a month. The sanding took 3 days in total. The finish, well, if I add it all up, 5 coats, half an hour a coat, 2.5 hours in total, but spread over 5 days to make sure it had fully gone off and hardened. The test is obviously going to be now how long it lasts. I really, really don't want to have to do all of that sanding again. But I'm feeling pretty darn confident about it lasting for a season and then getting another coat. So time will tell, and I'll post an update. Anyway, if you want to, the sanding and the finish application follows this bit. If not, thanks for watching. See you next time. Ta-ra. So I've shaken and stirred the bejesus out of this oil as per the manufacturer's recommendations, and I'm using a roller as per the recommendations. This is really, really thin, so it should penetrate quite well. And as you'll notice, I'm back in the workshop because it's blowing a hoolie outside. I've remembered to put the brown paper over the bench, which makes a change. Now it says on the tin 2 to 3 coats. Tempted to go more. Gonna need a brush in places, but using a roller is gonna be pretty quick, and the wood is soaking this up. So I'm gonna do all of the chair apart from the arms and then carry it back outside and just do the arms outside, and then it can dry in that hellish wind that we've got at the moment. The first coat is always easy to see when you put it on, isn't it? It's the second and the third which require a more methodical approach to make sure you cover everything. The slats in the chairs and the back being so small, going to require a brush. Bear that in mind next time I buy furniture, or indeed as I was doing this, I was thinking I'm going to make my own next time. And the design of it is going to take into account sanding and finishing. As this is, well, a pain in the ass, let's be honest. If there's anybody that enjoys doing this, I think they've got issues. Of course, so tempting to do the arms. This is thin enough that I'm pretty sure I could spray it if it weren't so windy outside. Going to be a bit of loss with overspray, especially on the chairs. Does bring that colour up beautifully. There, 1 down, 7 to go. That's all the chairs done, so I'm going to utilise one of Tesco's. Other supermarkets are available superb freezer bags to keep everything from drying out overnight while I wait for the first coat to dry. How clever am I?